in Surfside, Florida. We're about a block away from this heartbreaking, devastating building collapse. You can sort of see some of the images over the left shoulder here. It is very difficult to reconcile what we're seeing there with the fact that these search and rescue missions are underway. The grim news now, 4 people have been confirmed to have died. There's 159 people who are unaccounted for. The rain has picked up, making some of these search and rescue missions a little bit more challenged. And there are people, so many people who are still obviously potentially buried, unaccounted for. I'm joined now by Mariela Horace. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
You know people who were in that building. Graciela, daughter Estelle, and their 2 elderly parents.
Graciela and elderly parents, yes.
These are friends of yours. Tell me what happened. You were hearing the news. Did you reach out to them?
Well, I opened my phone and, naturally I'm looking at the news. That's something I do every morning. And I sent Graciela a message because I know it's Surfside area. I know she lives here. And I didn't get a response. At that point, I let it go. But then as I'm looking at the news and looking at the building more closely, I'm like, wait a minute, that's her building. So I texted her again. I start trying to call her. Her phone goes straight to voicemail, doesn't ring at all. I've called her multiple times, text messaged her, no response, which is not like her. We always communicate regularly, and there's always a response. So I've not heard from her since I started texting her 7:45 a.m., but I did learn that the building collapsed at 1:45 a.m. So, and I went to the reunification site, and they were still unaccounted for yesterday around 6:30 p.m.
We're putting some pictures of Graciela and Estelle on the screen. It's been some 31 hours now since the building collapsed. Tell us about your friends. How do you know them? What kind of people are they?
She's an amazing mother. Her whole world revolves around that little girl. She is a very talented photographer. She kind of stepped away from doing that and was recently working to get her real estate license, since real estate's kind of the way to go right now. She is just a wonderful person, trying to always, do the right thing and trying to change laws to protect children and the family court concepts. Very passionate about these things, just a kind heart.
Can you tell us a little bit about this community? People all over the world are hearing about Surfside, Florida for the first time. You live in the area, you live in Miami, my understanding is, but what is this? You live in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
What is this community like?
From my understanding and from the times that I've been here visiting Graciela, it's a nice upscale, area. I know it's a highly Jewish community, but there's also like a little bit of a melting pot. There's Argentinians, Peruvians. It's very eclectic.
Have you been communicating with officials? I mean, how are you going about getting information?
I actually drove to the reunification site yesterday. I called the hotline that they provided, but I'm finding that all you can do there is basically, report a missing person. Somebody had already reported them, so my next step yesterday was to go to the reunification site, and I went up to the desk and I asked. I know she was in Unit 501. And they said that they were still unaccounted for.
Was there any sense ever, did the possibility of poor building design or anything, any concerns about safety ever come up?
I've been here with my child, who's 6 years old. Our kids played together in the pool. It's inconceivable. I have no idea how this could happen. Like, I just don't understand how something like this could happen. It's not, the building's not that old. It seems solid. I don't understand.
How are you doing? I mean, I don't even know how to ask the question. What is your emotion now?
I vacillate between hope and I'm heartbroken. A little girl. I'm a parent. My friends. I know she's been through a lot, as have I. And then I'm hopeful, but then nighttime comes. Yesterday at night, the rain. You start thinking, if they are alive down there, like what's going on, like, how buried are they in there? Is there a possibility that they're alive? Like, truthfully, look at this mess. I mean, what are the chances?
I feel the same way. You vacillate. I mean, they're doing incredible work in search and rescue. They heard sounds overnight, so 30 hours in, people have been rescued around the world in longer time frames than that. So we're here.
I keep reading the news and I keep trying to, find, pieces of information. I saw that there was a mother and a little girl that were pulled out, but they had to amputate the mother's leg. That gave me hope. But I later learned that the little girl was 12 years old, so it can't possibly be my friend and her daughter.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're going through this. I appreciate you talking to us because I think it's really important to tell the stories of people who understand this community, understand what happened here. So thank you. Please keep checking in.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for putting their names out there and their pictures out there, and hopefully some family members pop up. Thank you.